The final trailer for Tears of the Kingdom has dropped, giving us heaps of new information and footage to sink our teeth into as we enter the final stretch. In this new trailer, we saw more glimpses of the overworld and the Sky Islands, potential dungeons, actual living Zonai, and best of all, rehydrated Ganondorf. Well, there are so many things in this final trailer to discuss, I don't want to make a summary video, as YouTube will undoubtedly be flooded with those over the next few days. Instead, I want to focus on one aspect of the trailer in particular. The Champion Descendants. They're back, baby! We got Riju and Sidon front and center. We see a boulder breaker for a few frames, so we can assume that Yunobo is back. And last but not least, we got everyone's favorite bird dad, Teba! You're not Teba. Where's Teba? Where's the bird dilf? Forget the Zonai, this is more important. Let's try and solve this mystery together, shall we? Okay, so let's try and answer the first major question. Who is this Rito? Many people online are saying that this is Teba, and I'm here to tell you that, no, this is not Teba. First, let's take a look at this mystery Rito. They have blue eyes, white feathers, a black beak, wings with brown feathers on the edges, and the signature cheek marks indicative of a younger Rito. Next, let's look at Teba. While Teba does have white feathers, that's about where the similarities end. For one, Teba has green eyes, not blue. Secondly, he has an orange beak, not a black one. Third, he has wings with black tips, not brown edges. Finally, Teba doesn't have the signature cheek marks, as he's older. So no, this isn't Teba. So then, if this young Rito isn't Teba, then who is it? Well, that's kinda simple. It's Tulin, Teba's son. Look at the two side by side. Tulin and the mystery Rito both have blue eyes, white feathers, black beaks, wings with brown edges, and the cheek marks. They're the same. Need more proof? Check out the bow the Rito is holding. Notice the dark blue colors, white accents, and gold tips? That's not a regular bow. That's none other than the Great Eagle Bow, the weapon once wielded by our boy Revali. So then, why does this Rito have it, instead of a warrior like Teba? Well, I'd like to direct you to Age of Calamity, specifically the Guardian of Remembrance DLC. After completing Revali and Teba's mission to save Tulin, you get a cutscene where Tulin says the following to Revali.
Someday, I'll even master the Great Eagle Bow!
And what does this Rito, who looks like an older version of Tulin, happen to be wielding? The Great Eagle Bow. He promised Revali he would learn to master it, and it looks like he's doing just that. It should also be worth noting at this point in the trailer, Tulin has a swallow bow, but later he has the Great Eagle Bow. It's quite possible that he does something to earn the right to use the Great Eagle Bow, such as, I don't know, helping Link defeat a giant monster that's threatening Rito Village? Need even more proof? New artwork was released by Nintendo with the launch of the trailer. This includes artwork of Sidon, Riju, and yes, Tulin. So, this confirms it. This is Tulin and not Teba. Could I have led with this information? Yes. Did I actively choose not to because I figured this out before they released the artwork and already had most of the script done by the time they did, and I'm salty that I've had to go back and make changes? Absolutely! This would imply that Tulin has grown older since we last saw him in Breath of the Wild, meaning that some time has passed between the events of the two games. This is even supported by the two champion descendants that we get a good look at, Riju and Sidon. Riju is clearly taller than her appearance in Breath of the Wild, and she looks a bit more like Urbosa, meaning that she's growing into her role as the Gerudo chieftain. Sidon, meanwhile, hasn't changed much, and his artwork reflects that. At a certain point in the trailer, however, you'll notice that he's wearing something on his head, a crown. This is the same crown that King Dorephan wore in Breath of the Wild, so if Sidon is now wearing the crown that his father once wore, it would mean that during the events of the game, he becomes the Zora King. As for what happens to King Dorephan, we don't know. Maybe he dies, or he steps down as king in order for Sidon to rule. So, we've established that some time has passed between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and we've established that our mystery Rito is Tulin, Teba's son. So that's all the questions that need to be answered then, right? Well, not quite. There's still one lingering question that needs to be answered, and it's the same question I asked at the beginning. Where's Teba? I believe that there are 3 possible answers as to why Tulin is taking Teba's place in Tears of the Kingdom. The first possible answer, and the one that I personally think is the most unlikely, is that Teba is dead. We know for the fact that the Rito have a rather short lifespan compared to the other races of Hyrule, with the average Rito lifespan being around 40 to 50 years if I remember correctly. It could be that Teba either died of old age or died protecting the village. More on that in a second. However, as I mentioned before, I think this is pretty unlikely. Teba is a main character in both Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, so for him to be so unceremoniously killed off screen makes no sense to me. Plus, dude isn't even that old. Hey, Linked Wolf in editing here. So I decided to actually reach out to Sean Chiplock, who voices Teba and Revali, and ask him how old he thought Teba was when he was doing the voice. And he responded saying that he believes that Teba is around 26 to 27 years old. The second possible answer is that Teba needs to be rescued from someone or something, or he was knocked out of commission. As a warrior, it's his job to protect Rito Village from any threats, just as how we're told in Breath of the Wild that he tried to take on Divine Beast Va Meta with Hearth, but ultimately failed until Link showed up. If this is the case, then what would Teba have been defending the village from? Well, the trailer actually gives us an answer. This thing that's been living in the big storm above Mount Hebra. When the storm appeared, the monster inside it could have started attacking Rito Village or posed a threat to it, so Teba could have gone to check it out. He might have been injured and forced to retreat to the village to recover, captured by the creature, or, to feed into the last idea, killed in battle. Of these, I think the idea of Teba returning too injured to fight makes the most sense. With Teba out of commission, Link and Tulin would then go to defeat the monster living in the storm themselves. The third, and most likely option in my opinion, was something that I hadn't even considered until fellow Zelda tuber FakeFantum brought it up while we were discussing the trailer over on Discord. They suggested that Teba might not be present because he's busy doing something else. What is that something else, you might be asking? Well, he's busy being the new chief of Rito Village. As mentioned previously, the Rito have a relatively short lifespan compared to the other races of Hyrule, but Teba is nowhere near close to dying of old age. However, I can't say the same about Elder Canelli, the chief of the Rito in Breath of the Wild. He's sitting in his old man chair with his old man feather beard. His time was definitely running out, I mean, come on. So when the old chief dies or retires, it would make sense that the Rito who helped to save the village from Va Meadows' rampage would become the new village chief. If that's the case, then this is what I think will happen. Link will go to Rito Village and meet Teba, who will tell him that there's a monster threatening the village. He'll ask Link to fight the monster, and Link will agree. Tulin, who overhears this, will volunteer to go with Link. Now, personally, I see this part going either one of 2 ways. 1, Teba says yes, and Tulin goes with Link, or 2, Teba says no, Tulin pouts and leaves, only to follow Link and help him out. Either way, Link and Tulin will reach the storm cloud, possibly going through a dungeon to get high enough, and they'll fight the monster, eventually emerging victorious. The pair will return to Rito Village, and for his bravery, Tulin will be given the Great Eagle Bow to use and master, while also volunteering to continue to help Link on the rest of his journey. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me to see people make it this far. If you enjoyed it and want to see more videos from me, then please do consider subscribing and leaving a like. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you end up hating my guts. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.